to the GM Talks. Today is the day where the Chess Olympiad starts, but we're not going to look at the Chess Olympiad. That will be a later video. We're going to look at Nakamura versus Niemann at the sort of bronze, the fight for third place at the Speed Chess Championship in Paris. Nakamura won convincingly, and I'm going to explain why he won convincingly. And what can Niemann do, and why is Nakamura that strong, and why did he just mess it up against Furusha? This will be the subject. We're just going to show a short game. It's going to be very instructive. There is a certain moment where there's something you can really learn from this game. And it's something that I'm sure that Nakamura grasped just like that, and always have, and Niemann will have to learn this stuff if we want to compete with guys like Nakamura. Of course, the match was extra interesting because the guys really hate each other. They have lawsuits, they have every sort of things. So this is the first game of the match, Nakamura, Niemann. So it's 5 minutes plus 1. So it's relatively slow. Of course, it's not slow, but it's real chess. You could say that 1 plus 1 is for, when I play it, it's not real chess for sure. Anyway, so Nakamura, he has some systems, some ideas, and he, of course, plays very well in all positions. That's one of his main things. It was clear that Niemann's opening was not that good, and sometimes he was just playing very well, and in other positions he was just lost and didn't know what was going on, and that was kind of weird to watch. And you get the sense that he is a very he's talented player, but he's not really trained enough yet. He needs to learn more. He needs to get some of these stuff going that the other guys know. And that was kind of clear that Carlsen could just play. He's sort of he didn't do much and just win sort of rather easily without really trying too hard. And it was anyway. Of course, Carlsen is the world's best player in history. Anyway, this is okay. So we are having a Reti system, very typical Nakamura. He just wants to develop and start thinking a little bit later. I would usually recommend for Niemann to play this move instead and know the variations very well. Then he will have no problems dealing with Nakamura because I think he's when he knows what he's doing, he's playing pretty well. Okay, but bishop e7, of course, is part of the normal way you can play. This is the most solid way, and after here we see that Carlsen played d3 and won very easy game against Niemann, where Niemann got confused very early, and Carlsen just got a more or less winning position straight out of the opening, and not by sort of playing fantastically, just by being Carlsen, because this is what he can do. and of course, as a Niemann, I would be terrified for this to happen, that you just get into a position where they just like whoop and you're dead. So you have to do something in this situation. You have to do something different, and he, apparently he was not aware of that, and it seems he was overestimating himself a little bit. So Carlsen played d3 here. Of course, d4 is the main line. Catalan after d takes c4, a sons of theory. I'm sure Niemann knows this pretty well. So, of course, Nakamura plays b3. And here, a concrete solution would be to go for the Benoni with d4. That is maybe the best move in the position, and definitely the most challenging, and one of the things where you can learn it really well from home. If you believe that you should do that you can play, if you have position where you understand what's going on, that you can play with these guys, then you should learn something like that. That would be my clear recommendation for Hans Niemann, not to sort of say, okay, let's keep things fluent, because as we'll see, he's just get tricked. So, and here e3, tricky little move, not allowing d4 anymore. We are having a ready system. White can play in all sorts of different way, and queen e2 is a common move. So notice he's waiting with bishop b2. It's not that it's not coming, but it's not that important yet. The main move here is c5. By the way, Black could also play c5 and knight c6 and wait and see what white does, and maybe the bishop belongs here because this is a good diagonal. A lot of things to think about, and of course Nakamura has tremendous experience, so he's pretty good when things are not decided. Knight bd7. Black's position is of course very harmonious, no big deal. White cannot have an advantage here. Knight e4 is maybe typical for Niemann, that he's trying to make forcing moves. But why do that from sort of a random position instead of from a sort of more well, where you also have chances to play for a win? Because here we are in a position where it will be white that is up at knight f6 and just d4 and say, okay, I'm slightly better. My bishops are a little bit better than your bishops because I got this in here. And here Niemann plays knight e4, and I don't like this move because it's sort of you're setting yourself up for trouble. The knight is not doing anything but attacking the bishop, so it's a little bit aimless to play knight e4 in the position. Probably the computer have no problem with it, but taking here would have been my suggestion, just to play something like this and have a clear plan of playing against these hanging pawns here. The bishop is good, this bishop is good, this knight is good. Black has no weaknesses. This cannot be bad unless d5 works, which it appears to absolutely not do. Then this must be fine for Black, and that would be my suggestion for Niemann, as sort of, if you were like a mental coach or strategic coach, you would say you have to go for things like that, because the way we see here, you're just setting yourself up to fail. Okay, so he played knight e4, bishop b2, c5, and Nakamura is, you don't bluff Nakamura. He will just he just plays his move, and here he says, okay, so you want to have the hanging pawns, but with the knight here, that does, for instance, something like this. This looks a little bit, or rook c1 first. This looks bad for Black somehow. These guys are going to come under a lot of pressure, and the bishops are good, and the knight would rather be on f6, and sort of you're already on the defensive here. So I think this should probably be good for White. Anyway, so he took with the bishop, and Black is basically playing to equalize the position. White is the first to get the rooks in and annoy the queen, and White's queen is already away. It looks very, very symmetrical. He takes, and of course, if you take with the pawn, White is always slightly better. It's not a disaster. It's not a disaster, but it is of course not really what you want to get. So this is typical, and we see that there are some small problems here, because White is a little bit faster, and the bishops are actually better on these squares than Black's bishops here. So you sense some sort of uneasiness. First of all, you realize something like this. First of all, it weakens this, but there's also this move, and if it takes, and you will get a weak pawn somewhere. So that's already a little bit annoying. So here you have to take tremendous care, and one of the things is, of course, to say, okay, maybe I will have to accept something like that. But you could play rook c8, you can play rook fd8, you can play a5 or something. But you have to realize that in this position there are sort of danger points in your position. White is more active, his pieces are more safe, and you could lose quickly in this position if you're not. But if nothing bad happens, it will just peter out. It will just be a draw because the pawn structure is completely symmetrical. But who gets to land the first blow is often important in symmetrical position, and you have to be very careful. And he didn't really live up to the task. He played queen b7. Looks really smart, getting the queen in here, making a battery down on this guy down here. Let's make him blue. So we make him red. We'll make him red this way. Looks very good, but there are certain problems here, and I'm sure Nakamura just spots this so quickly. So white to move in this situation here. Queen b7 was a double blunder. It's losing the game, and it appears, how can that be? Okay, so let's see. The key is, of course, that white is the first with an active rook. It would have been so nice for black to have an active rook as well. He does not have that. So there's also some things luring here. There's the diagonal from g2 goes the other way as well. And this bishop is not really having good squares also. So let's see here. White finds a way to exploit that he can make the sort of this queen that's loose here. There's a rook d7 coming in some lines here, and I don't know how to learn to spot this, but you should somehow sense that not everything is right here. There's something, there might be something cooking. The pieces are not harmonious. This piece is on d5 is sort of if it disappears, then black is in big trouble, right? So can you make it disappear somehow? And he gets b4 in. And what's the idea? Well, the idea is, of course, it's attack the bishop. That's obvious. And what else? Well, the thing is, it cannot really go here because you just take here, right? And there's a problem here. And you take, and the queen is hanging. So queen is so that doesn't work. Okay. What about going here? The same problem. Take, and rook d7, and the rook is threatening the queen and threatening the bishop, and this can't really do much. So white is just winning a piece. Okay, so he has to take, and we take here, and we take here, and rook d7, and we see that the queen is out of squares on this diagonal. This one is taken and this one is taken. So what to do? It has to go somewhere else. And after this move, this simple double attack wins the game. And you can say that queen b7 was a huge blunder, but I think the whole setup was a blunder from black. This is not what you want to do against Nakamura, and some overconfidence issues that believing that I'm better than Nakamura, but come on, he's number 2 in the world, and he's extremely good in these kind of positions. So you have to to be maybe a little bit more humble. I don't know. I don't think humble is Hans's biggest strength, and probably shouldn't be. I think he'll get a lot from being this sort of rogue person that is against the world, that will give him energy and make him, well, give him some extra, but it's not really enough. You also have to sort of play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And here, well, black is just losing a bishop, and it's pretty easy for white from here. And I think Nakamura, he could also have played this in a 1 minute blitz game. He's very good at this, and these kind of